Yo, what is up, Crocs and Clan members, Legend of Korra fans, and other souls stumbled upon this video? I'm Stars Crocs, and today we're doing episode 11 of Legend of Korra, and oh my god, this episode had me on the edge of my seat. It was ridiculous. Oh my gosh, why would you do this to me? It was so intense and just so full of just adrenaline rush that I was like, wow. Like for me personally, book three was a little stale in the beginning, but now like the last couple episodes, it's like, oh my gosh, everything is like so crazy. Um, so after the whole recap, because they always do a recap at the beginning of episodes. Bola and Mako actually start, they're gonna leave Bossing Say to deliver Korra the message. Um, because in the last episode he's like, I'm gonna let you go, but you gotta go to Korra and give her this message. So they get out of the palace, and it's just chaos everywhere. They end up going to an airship because they need. Hey guys, on the third floor, on the left door, freaking gold, and they're like, oh my gosh, and they all run out, and Bolan's like, yep, I got this, and I'm like, jeez, the people are people this desperate to just take over the freaking city? So, and they end up leaving, and of course, remember that their family lives in the lower ring. When they actually end up reaching the area, Mako actually, because Bolan's the one that was flying the thing, when they're gonna land, Mako actually takes over, and then they go downstairs, or like they're on the roof, right? So they have to like go down like the side of the building to try to get in there. And then like the grandma, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, it's Bolin!" Like we gotta go because even the whole street is on fire. Like their house, their house right now, it's just gonna go up in flames. You can actually see the fire outside the door. And the grandma's like, I'm not leaving. This is my house. And you're not going to get me out of this house. Because Bolin's like, we got to go. And they're like, we want to, but, grandma over here is like being all stubborn and stuff. And she gets up. She's like trying to make Bolin sit and burn in the fire. And he's like, no, grandma, we got to go. There's a fire. He's like, I'm not leaving my house. This is where I raise my kids. And Bolin's like, grandma, you know what Baco and I learned in the streets? Doesn't matter where you are, as long as you're with family, you're home. She was like, screw that. And then he's like, you know what? Screw you. I'm just gonna take you just a picture of it. It's like, let's go. And the doors already started to get on fire. Like the whole room is about to go up in flames, and they end up getting out of there. So he literally had to drag his grandma out of her house. I'm like, gosh, what the heck is this? Oh, and she couldn't leave without the queen's picture. I don't know what kind of thing that, fetish that is that she has, but she needed a picture of the queen that has just recently died before she left. And they go on the search, they find the broken part. I'm like, they were like, we gotta find the. And then he's like, yes, Pablo, you're joining. He's like, Pablo, and then he like does the whole, he's all excited to see his friend again, his pet technically, and like he just hugs and kisses and all that stuff, and everybody's like, what the heck is he doing? And then the Naga comes in and just pounces Mako, and everybody's like, oh my god, stop freaking trying, bear dog. And then she's like, oh okay, and then Masami and Korra come out, and they're like, it was actually I have to say that has to be the most awkward reunion ever because Bolin gave a hug to Asami, and then Mako gave a hug to Korra, and then they're like, oh, I'm sorry about that, and then they're like, oh my gosh, it's so good to see you guys, and then Fei Fong comes out with Tonrak and Zuko, and they're like, I'm surprised you're not dead, or like, I'm glad you're not dead. And he's like, don't get sappy on me, Chief. And then they obviously say hello to Tonrak, and then freaking Bolin is a freaking Zuko fanboy because he's like, oh my gosh, it's Lord Zuko. It's like he's trying to touch him, but he's too scared to touch him because he's such a fan. And then Margaret is like, I'm sorry, my brother up here, It's a pleasure. We're big fans, it's an honor to meet you, sir. They're like, oh well, and it's an honor to meet you guys too. And then they deliver the message, and the message is freaking dark as heck. Cause Zahir told them, hey, you tell Korra that I'm gonna go right now to ignore the air temple, and I'm just gonna kill everybody there if she doesn't turn herself in. And I'm like, gosh, dang! I mean, I thought this man, this is what kind of they're not even world order yet. They're like still a flourishing nation. They don't have a leader. You can't just go over there and kill innocent people. And that's what Korra thought. And then they decided to go to freaking Metal City again, because I honestly don't even remember the name of that place. I really don't care. Because they don't have a radio. Remember, they stole it from the airship, so they can't contact anybody. And then the radio that they have in the Jeep, it's not going to work because it doesn't have enough distance. It can't reach North America. They have to go back to the city. And so they decided to contact Sui. Sui to be like, hey, contact Air Temple so you can get Tenzin knowing, stuff. And so they go and they get there, but they can't reach them for some reason. Somebody's picking up, and then they're gonna do this whole splitting up. Metal City people, army, gonna go get airships ready. So they can go on strike, and then Korra's gonna try to find I can't even talk right now. So here in the spirit world, and then Bolin and Mako are gonna keep trying to contact Tenzin, and then Korra goes into the spirit world, doesn't find Sahir, but finds Iroh, and I'm like, Iroh, yes, he's back again, because I really like Iroh. You guys should know this already. Gives her advice because he says, sometimes you go in the spirit world and you find what you weren't expecting to find, but it ends up helping you in the end. And he he's like, well, Aang, while he wanted to flourish the Arab nation, right? That was his main goal. He always still thought of he's the Avatar. So the people, everybody comes first. So don't turn yourself in, basically. They end up breaching Tenzin, and it's freaking Milo is trolling Bolin. I'm pretty sure he was trolling him. Or, I mean, Milo's always been like the stupid character, but he's always the funny one. But, I mean, he's my favorite of the kids. I'm sorry. But, like, I'm pretty sure he was trolling Bolin. Bolin, this is Bolin. I need to talk to Tenzin. He's like, Bolin's not here. Can I get a message? It's like, I am Bolin. Find your dad. And he's like, I'm sorry, but he's outside right now. He's doing class. I can't. And then freaking Korra, like, Milo, this is your commanding officer. Go get your dad. He's like, yes, sir. And he's like, runs out. Oh my gosh, it was so stupid. It was so funny. Tenzin comes in. It's like, Tenzin, get out of there. Zahir's on his way to kill all you guys. And he's like, oh no. And then Zahir's like already there. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like I said, it's freaking just tense right now. It's just tense. And then, so they're gonna get out, right? They have to get out, right? They need to leave. They need to leave. So they're like, you go. They're basically gonna spread out, trying to get everybody so they can go to the bisons and get out of there. Excuse me. Oh my gosh, this was the craziest part. Freaking Sahir shows up with the waterbender chick and then the lava bender, while the forehead firebender is like in the airship and still flying around so she can get long range. Oh my gosh, she had like all of the airbenders on like in one room, and they're like, you know what? We're not if you all cooperate, we're not gonna do anything. We just want Korra. And then, oh my gosh, Tenzin, you are a boss. He gets up. He's like, we're not gonna let you have Korra. And he's like, oh oh, airbend just knocked him the fuck away, and he's like, Janora, get everybody out of here. Boomy, Kia, help me out. And it's gonna be like a 3-on-3 match, and then the freaking fireman chief fires. He's like, make sure you stay out of her line of sight. And so like they're trying to leave, and then oh my gosh, it's the most epic fight ever. Freaking Tenzin's fighting Sahir, and then honestly I don't know what the heck Boomy was gonna do. Like he's a newbie airbender. Like gosh, I mean I know he's like a military man. I honestly want to know how the heck he used to fight when he was not an airbender. Cause so he was fighting the lava guy, and then Kia was fighting the waterbender. And like I gotta say, Kia, you are a disappointment. You had Katara as your mom. She was like a boss. She had a serious fight and be able to win. I'm sorry, you just can't. You're still too new at this. So he was actually getting wrecked. Kia was actually doing really decent. But it, and she was actually doing pretty good until like the waterbending chick got like 6 tentacles and stuff. I don't know, it was really crazy. So I mean, and then she was at like a disadvantage. Like she was still fighting, but she was already in the losing side. But freaking Tenzin, oh my gosh, he was wrecking Sahir. It was the craziest thing I had ever seen. I was like all pumped up. I was like, Tenzin, you are a boss. Like I have been waiting for Tenzin to show off his skills. To be honest, Tenzin was the only master airbender. Why the heck was he losing to people? He was a boss. Like Zahir could not touch the man. Like Zahir had to like hop over buildings to try to get to the next one and using airbending. Freaking Tenzin was just like, I'm just gonna fly up. And I'm like, look at this man. He's showing him what a master airbender does. And he was winning. He was winning. I'm being serious. He was wrecking Zahir. I can't state that enough. He was beating Zahir by himself. Zahir had no chance. Had no chance. But then freaking they tried, like, since the airbender was trying to escape, what's his face tried to sacrifice himself to make sure that they got there, but failed. I hope he dies. I really hope he dies. Is that little kid, the Kai? I want him to die for some reason. He needs to die. I'm being serious. He needs to die. Like I don't hate the kid anymore, but I feel like for some reason he needs to die so that Junora can just become a wrecking house. I don't know. That's just the way I feel. He ends up failing, right? So they can't leave. And then Kia and Boomy actually lose. So then Tenzin's over here beating Sahir, but then he gets at a disadvantage. He's now 4 against 1. And he was still fighting. He was still owning them for a little while. And then it started getting too much. Like he was knocking Zahir, he was blocking waterbending, he was dodging Earth. But then, of course, it's 4 against 1. He's not going to be able to win this. He's not the Avatar, right? He only has one element. He can't go against all 4. So, but he was still fighting. Here's my problem with this fight. I'm pretty sure Tenzin is dead. I'm being serious. I'm pretty sure that Tenzin is dead after this episode. They even did the whole panning away from the fight. Like, because they had him cornered, and he was still fighting, but he couldn't hit anybody because he was too tired. And then it was just him getting thrashed by all 3 members that were at the bottom. The Zahir and the Water and the Earthbender. They were just striking him. And then the camera just, or like, the scene, because it's not really live action, so you can't really have cameras panning. But they just panned it to where it was being covered. I'm pretty sure they killed Tenzin there. And that makes me mad, because the one time they make him look like a badass, they have him killed. Which, it makes absolutely no sense to kill Tenzin. Like, at all. He did not need to die. Kia's still alive. Boomy's still alive. And Kai's still alive. Why did Tenzin have to die when he was the one doing most of the work?